Well, I guess I reckon that's you on the end there, don't you? How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Well, I'm trying to look in the picture of health. I'm getting there slowly, but not too bad. Not too bad, yes. And listen, first of all, a small complaint. Apparently, you haven't done anything about stopping the rain outside today. So, what is that all about? I thought you were all seeing, all powerful, all controlling. I thought you could do that.
Well, you know what? The rain is life-giving water, which kind of works with what we're talking about today. But yeah, a little bit of sunshine wouldn't go amiss. But
No,
hey ho, we're in Britain. We chose to remain in this beautifully wet, cold country. So let's suck it up and enjoy it.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's like everything else. It's the rough with the smooth, isn't it? You appreciate the sun that much more. But there are some people who don't like the sun, aren't there? So horses for courses. Some people like the farmers like the wet weather and gardeners and all that kind of thing. But there we go. So listen, you want to talk about water and the importance thereof. Is that because it's raining today and you thought, well, let's talk about the wet stuff?
I am wondering if there was a slight correlation in my brain between the weather and the topic. But yeah, I've just done the school run, got completely soaked and windswept. So yeah, let's talk about the importance of water, mainly because everyone all the women that I speak to and clients that come on board always say, oh, well, I try and drink more water. But no one seems to really know why they're trying to drink more water. They say that I want to drink more water. I will. I've been told I should. And absolutely you should. It's something that I tell people to do. But there doesn't seem to be a particular understanding as to why. It's just, well, I should do it because I'm told. And usually if we're told something without understanding the importance or the efficacy of what we're doing,
we go the other way, don't we?
Well, we don't bother. Yeah. If you don't understand why you're doing something, you tend to put slightly less effort into it than something that sort of has a reason, if that makes sense. So yeah, water, why is it important? Well, we all know that obviously it's important for keeping everything hydrated in our body because, well, first of all, dehydration. So when we haven't got enough water, even if we're just 2% dehydrated, just 2%.
Which is nothing, is it? 2% is nothing.
Nothing.
You would think of it.
Our cognitive ability starts to depreciate drastically. Our physical ability to, even our basic organ function starts to decrease drastically. Everything starts to go down at quite a rapid descent as soon as you hit just 2% dehydration. And one of the biggest things is that people are knackered and hungry, right? People are exhausted and they're hungry, especially when they're trying to lose weight. Exhaustion sets in at about 4% dehydration, and your body can't send different signals for thirsty and hungry. It sends you the same signal. So what most people do is they are tired. So when you're tired, you don't really make good choices. You tend to make choices the same as when you're hungover, when you're tired. So they just go, oh, well, I've got a feeling that I'm hungry. I'll just reach for the hobnobs or whatever it might be. But actually, 9 times out of 10, your body is saying, I am dehydrated. Please give me water. So one of the biggest things to do is whenever you get those pangs of hunger or headache or tiredness, reach for a glass of water. One of the things that I tell my clients, start your day with a glass of water. So I always have a pint of water next to my bed. And when I wake up, the first thing I do is I drink it just to hydrate my body after a sleep, to stem off any excessive hunger pangs. Because when you wake up slightly dehydrated,
and peckish,
maybe you then reach for a bigger breakfast than you necessarily would, and then sort of the whole day starts in that fashion. So one of the biggest things is just starting your day with a glass of water. And then, water as well is essential for calorie and body fat burning. Absolutely essential. It's essentially when we are trying to burn body fat, it needs a certain way of metabolizing. Essentially, body fat gets metabolized and then it disappears. You know, if it can't be metabolized, it can't really be got rid of.
So could you say then that the water could be a catalyst for that in order to make that to work?
Yeah. So essentially, if I try and do this in without making it sound really boring and sciencey, the process of metabolizing fat is called lipolysis. And the first step of the process of lipolysis is hydrolysis. Probably getting where I'm going with the whole hydro. And that occurs when water molecules essentially interact with the fats, the triglycerides, and they create glycerol and fatty acids. I won't go into any more science in that because it gets a bit boring. But essentially, the first step of metabolizing fat is have some water. So the more water you can have, the better the metabolic rate of your fat will be. So it's really important for stopping your hunger pangs, because you're probably dehydrated, and then B, getting rid of the fat that's there in the first place. So yeah, I mean, there are many other benefits, but those are two of the biggest ones when it comes to sort of health and weight.
Well, in that case then, I mean, is it just water? I mean, for here, hang on, let me get. No, just got a bit of juice with some water in it. Sometimes when you're really thirsty, a glass of nice cold water is very refreshing. But a lot of people say to me, "Oh, I don't like the taste of water," and they want some sort of flavouring and stuff in it. But surely, if it's, I mean, the vast majority is water, so it's still going to hydrate you, surely.
Yeah, it depends what you're mixing it with. So you can get like non-sugar squashes where you're putting maybe like 10 ml to a pint of water. They're still going to have the same effect. If you're mixing the water with something that is higher in sugar or caffeine, so for instance, coffee, certain teas, yes, people go, well, the majority of the cup is water. But the caffeine, the tannins, all of that has an effect on then what you're doing. You know, tannin in tea, just tannin itself inhibits your body's ability to actually absorb certain nutrients. You know, a lot of people have their supplements, you know, let's say they take a vitamin C supplement or something like that with their cup of tea. Well, vitamin C cannot be absorbed in the presence of tannins. So all you're doing is essentially peeing out that supplement because your body can't absorb it. So things like tannin, caffeine, you want to keep separate and keep to a minimum. Something like a small amount of low sugar squash, yeah, you know, go for it. But juice, for instance, you really don't want to be drinking too much, you know, fruit juices, because essentially fruit is sugar. Yeah, it's sugar. But when it's as a whole fruit, that sugar is contained within the body of the fruit and gets used and utilized by the body in very sort of useful ways. When you juice the fruit, you create essentially free sugar. The sugar gets separated from the actual nutrients of the fruit, and that free sugar just goes, oh, okay, I'll just sit on your hips and your tummy as body fat. So you really, fruit juice should be kept to, like, the government guidance is 150 ml a day, which is about that much. So you don't really want to be having a lot of juice, but squash, hasn't, you know, if that makes it easier to drink water, have the squash.
Bacardi and Coke doesn't cut it, really, does it?
I mean, alcohol tends to have a slight quite a huge diuretic effect where, you know, you're more dehydrated than you were before it. But, you know, a rum and Coke here and there is never going to, you know, hurt anybody. I think sometimes a little pick me up and a pep on a weekend can help.
Absolutely. In fact, I think it's a legal requirement, to be perfectly honest. But the thing, how much water do you drink a day on average? Because I've read places where it should be like 2 litres a day is one of the recommended, not doses, but, you know, it suggested the amount that an adult should drink, about 2 litres of water a day. Is that about right, or does it depend on the person?
Okay, so it depends on the person. You can do some maths, which we won't go into here because honestly, most people aren't going to do it.
No.
But technically, it's about how big you are. So if I'm 5'2", if somebody's 6'2", they should be drinking more. And you need to work it out in terms of body mass.
So I should be drinking about 3 gallons then.
Max effect, not 3 gallons. You don't want to drown yourself.
Oh,
but effectively, it is dependent on you and your size. However, the sort of average recommendation, because most people know that no one's going to sit there doing maths on how much exactly their hydration rate is 1.5 to 2 litres. I, as an example, will say it's usually about 8 of these.
That's 8 pints. That's a gallon.
So I'll have it up to about here.
Oh, yeah,
maybe
okay.
3/4. So that's about how much I'll drink. I'll have 8 of those in a day. So it's going to be dependent. If someone is drinking no water, I've had clients come to me who drink maybe half of that a day and that's it. And the rest of it's tea and coffee.
So just for people listening, Rita was holding out a pint glass.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm on the radio, aren't I?
Yeah, and you're also on Facebook as well. So, yeah, she was holding up a pint glass where normally the guy would go and have a pint. Yes, I can see you modelling it very well, Rita, I have to say.
Thank you.
And she has about 3/4 of a pint. So 8 of those. Wow. That's still quite a bit of water. Do you spend all day in the loo?
No, because my body is absorbing it quite well. But if you are drinking, let's say, half a pint of water a day and that's it, or maybe 1 glass of water a day and that's it, saying to someone who's there, go and drink 8 glasses or 2 litres of water is just unrealistic. It's not going to happen. So it's about saying, okay, this is where I'm at and my level. How can I improve upon that by 20%? So rather than drinking 1 glass, I'll drink 2. And I'll do that for 2 weeks, and I'll just drink 2 glasses of water for 2 weeks. And then, okay, maybe I can add 1 more in, and then I'll drink 3 glasses of water for 3 weeks. And it's just small steps of building it up, because most people go, oh, I should drink more water, and try and change the habit of 1 glass to 8 glasses in the space of a day. It won't stick. So build it up slowly, because anything better than what you were doing before
is an improvement.
Yeah. So build it up slowly until you get to a point that works for you.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it. So that's the importance of water then this morning with Rita. So make sure you drink plenty of water. But I mean, I've heard people say, oh, no, I don't like drink too much. I spend all the time in the loo and all that kind of thing. And for some people, particularly more mature people, that may well be the case. But I've also heard it said, don't wait until you're thirsty to drink. Mm-hmm. Which means that it's not, you just don't drink because you're thirsty. You drink because your body needs it. So, yeah, all right. Well, great. Well, listen, you have a great day, and hope your hair dries out. Don't go out swimming in the water again, because that's, mind you, it might still be raining when you do the next school run, I would imagine. But
probably.
Yeah, probably. All right, Rita, listen, you have a great day. Thank you very much indeed, and we'll speak to you soon.
See you later.
Take care. Bye, Rita. Bye-bye.